All right, so I guess we'll just do this in the order of the way we watched them. The second horror film we watched yesterday. We also watched Nobody, which we both enjoyed, although I think people are blowing it a little more than I would. Like she was saying last night, it's a pretty standard action movie with just likable actors. You know, Bob Odenkirk. He's really well liked, and I think that's a big reason. And plus, it's really like an
underdog kind of movie.
Yeah. So I get it, but anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Howard's Mill, which was recommended to me by Brandon from Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, which is actually how we got The Maid as well, which we'll be talking about next. And he was like, "Oh, you should check it out. It's found footage," and I was like, "Oh, sweet. This is a mockumentary, and I'm into it." And I think that this is a film that is going to completely get passed by, and I don't feel like almost anyone's going to be talking about this or watching this, and I think that's a damn shame. Of all the movies we watched yesterday, I liked this one the most, and also I thought about it last night, and I thought about it at work today a good amount. I was really sitting and thinking about this film. Now, what do you think about that? Before I get into a synopsis?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really fun found footage. We watched this at the end of the night, so I was more tired than I would have liked. So kind of the last quarter of the movie, I was struggling to stay awake, but it had nothing to do with the film itself. It's not boring in any way.
No.
And I would definitely like to revisit it, like when I'm more awake and aware so that I can really get the full effect of everything. I had a lot of questions at the end, which was one of the things that, we talked about is why the film is enjoyable, is because things are left open-ended enough that you can apply, a lot of different theories. Not even a lot, but just, several theories that
I think I answered almost
you did.
all your questions.
You did, but I like
outside of what is just unanswerable.
Right, yeah. The things that I was confused on, you helped clear up. But I mean, like, the overall, like, what's going on and what's, really happening, that's what I mean, is that I think that there's a lot of different ways you can interpret it.
Yeah.
And we talked about some of them last night. So... But it was really, I like documentary style found footage. I think that this one was done really well. There was some cool shots. I think all the actors were wonderful, and it was eerie. It was really off-putting in certain ways, and overall, I think it was really cool. So,
yeah, going back to what you said when you first started, what you were saying, I'm gonna have to disagree with the word that you chose. Fun. I definitely don't think this is a fun movie.
It's not. It was fun in the sense that, like, I had a good time watching it.
Sure,
like,
it's better than you
watching
expected it
but
to
the
be or
movie,
something.
like, the tone isn't fun. It is definitely a horror movie, and it's definitely dark. But yeah, it's I guess that is the wrong choice. It's more like how I felt, whenever I watch movies that I like. I think it's a fun thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the film features multiple children's disappearances and deaths. And it's
super fun times.
Really, some of that shit really just stuck with me. Like, I was really kind of haunted by some of it. Like, what would I do? And just thinking about my kids disappearing and dying like that, and just how alone and scared, and it's just horrifying. But anyway, so as far as what the film is about, there's this guy whose wife goes missing. And so this documentary crew comes and interviews him, thinking that they're just going to be there for like a day and they're going to do some little class project kind of thing. And he's like one of the prime suspects, as all, husbands and wives can be in missing spousal cases, because 9 times out of 10 it ends up being them. And when they start to investigate this mystery together, they start to realize that this is not the first time this has happened near Howard's Mill. And what I think is really cool about this movie, there's a lot of things I really liked about it. And for any like mockumentary found footage, because some people will be like, this isn't found footage, because there's like a lot of people that are very technical with it. This is definitely a mockumentary. Okay, if we're gonna get specific, found footage has to be footage that was shot, that was found, and it's unedited.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is pure nonsense, because every fucking found footage movie I've ever watched, the film has been edited to a degree.
Yeah.
They don't just show you 100% of the Blair Witch Project's footage. Right? There's more footage than that. They edited it, but whatever. Beyond the edit. Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, no, I was just gonna say that I get what you're saying about it being like, you know, found and unedited, but I always felt like found footage has that like unreality, like it's real, like you're suspending disbelief that this is real footage that is, you know, it actually happened.
Sure.
And is in a movie. So that's what I always think of, like mockumentaries. It still falls into the found footage category for me, because oftentimes there's footage in there that is, you know,
That's
even
found.
if it's not found, but it's like shot, and you know,
it's a good point. There's definitely
evidence.
Found footage in this film.
Yeah. They
find multiple pieces of footage which they show us in this. Mm-hmm. So you're right. There's found footage. Fuck you. So, yeah, okay. So, all the reasons that I enjoyed this. First, now, I'm trying to figure out, because this could be like one of those happy accidents. But the film has this kind of like cheap, made for TV special feel to it in a way, where it feels like a pilot episode for some like cheap Ghost Hunters ripoff. In that opening, like, you know, in the opening
like
segment, credits,
area.
yeah, stuff like that. And I was like, I wonder if that's on purpose, or these people just didn't have the budget, and it just felt like that. But it was cool because it felt authentic. And that would probably be my first praise of this film, is that everything feels authentic. The actors, there's nothing theatrical about their performances. They're not like trying to... Now, this movie doesn't really ask for anybody to be, because this is more just an investigatorial movie, right? More so than like straight horror being thrown at you. This kind of reminds me of a little bit faster paced Lake Mungo.
Yeah, I thought the same thing actually.
Yeah. Lake Mungo's a little slower than this one is. It builds this creepy atmosphere throughout because of how like calm and quiet it is, and then it kind of has that big jump scare towards the end. This film, there's a little bit more going on, and I feel like this builds more mystery, because it leaves you with a bunch of questions of what happened, and it gives you a lot of evidence for multiple suggestions. I'm not going to say what those are, because I want you to experience them in the film, but it definitely goes into places I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting one of these things. Actually, the two main things I was not expecting to be... I should say there's three main things. And one of them is what I was definitely expecting, because it's like the first thing they mentioned. I'm like, oh, this is what this is going to be. But then they give you two other versions, which are never spoon-fed and are never really pushed. They're more implied. And I like that a lot. And they're not theories that I would have ever expected to be in these. And each of them feels potentially possible for what's set up here. So yeah, the land of Howard's Mill is cursed by something.
Right.
And really they just kind of explore all the multiple options while they're investigating the disappearance of this woman. And then they find out that there was multiple cases, and they look into each one of those. And then there's this other character who comes in, and things can be kind of confusing with this additional character that comes in, that claims to be somebody. and you're like, so that can get a little confusing, but I think I cracked the code on it last night.
I do too, and that's like the part that I was, confused about,
Sure.
and I really do think it was, just because I wasn't, unfortunately, watching it with my full brain power. But I think if you do go into
Still
it,
confusing.
it is still confusing,
Yeah.
but it's a movie that I think you should be paying attention to. You shouldn't watch it when you're like about to go to sleep or when you're distracted and on your phone. Like, I think you should definitely give it your full attention.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to revisit it at some point. But yeah, the three kind of theories is what I was talking about at the beginning, and we talked about them last night, and I think it's nice to have all those different options.
Sure, absolutely. So that's another big reason why I like this. And another one is that I just feel like the filmmakers really kind of just went with it with probably the very minimal budget that they had. Mm-hmm. And I felt like they were pretty damn successful in a lot of areas. It feels big. Even though you can tell that they probably didn't have a lot of money, they went out and they got tons of different people to interview. They got these really cool aerial drone shots of the area. They went to some public building or, the chick they talked to about the land. What do you call it? Like a public
the county
records
assessor's office?
Yeah. They go there and they go to this diving team and they go to all these different things. And they cleverly do it. To where you as the viewer buy into what it is. But if you're an aspiring filmmaker that is into guerrilla filmmaking or ultra low budget filmmaking, you know that they tricked you.
Right.
Into believing these things are actually this way, and it's just somebody standing there with a piece of paper.
Sure.
Or it's just somebody in a boat.
Yeah.
But they make it feel like it's really happening with all these people. And it's cool. And it felt like a real documentary most of the time.
Yeah.
And
very authentic.
unless I'm forgetting something, as of right now, I could take this back and if I think of something else, but this is my favorite found footage mockumentary film of 2021 that I can think of. This one was a total surprise for me. Brandon told me it was good, so I believed him, and so I went into it with some expectation, but I was just really into this one. I really bought into all the mystery. It's just... You're right, though. I guess it is fun in the sense that it's fun trying to follow the mystery.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So I beat you up for that word.
You're like, I disagree.
Well, it's just because some things that stuck with me are so not fun, and there's some really eerie shit in this movie. Very eerie.
And I mean, like you were saying, I think this movie though is a great example of how you can do something low budget if you have a really great story idea.
Yeah.
And solid actors. You can work with very minimal things and make it look and feel incredible. Yeah. So they did a great job with this. I don't know what the budget was, but it was really awesome. I don't even feel like it felt big budget to me. It just felt real, which is what I liked about it. And when we were looking, you were looking on your phone. I guess a lot of the lore of the town
is
in
authentic,
the movie is actually the town that they go to.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Springfield,
elevation,
which we could stop laughing about because of The Simpsons. Every time they said Springfield, I was like, really? What was Springfield? Mm-hmm. But it's because it has that history that they wanted to put in here, and I'm sure the filmmakers are probably from this area, right?
Sure. So. And the elevation that you saw.
Oh yeah, we looked it up on our phone, and this town sits at elevation 666, which we thought for sure they were going to mention in the show.
Mm-hmm. But no,
it's almost like a little Easter egg.
Yeah.
For anyone who looks into this county, which is kind of cool.
666.
I can almost guarantee anytime we cover a movie like this on the channel, people who worked on the film in some capacity, whether they're the actors or the directors or the writers or whoever, they always watch these. I always get comments from them. So this was great.
Yes.
I was really into this, and I'm gonna try to get people to watch this.
For sure.
And I really hope that, they'll listen. I think this is on Tubi. I could be incorrect. I don't have my phone on me right now, but Howard's Mill, if you're a mockumentary fan, definitely check this one out, obviously, and support the shit out of this. This is definitely something I would add to my collection. I'll look for it on physical, and hopefully I can pick up something. There's just some things that just lingered with me. Like the stuff with the kids. That's really what it was. It just haunted me internally. Like I was just sitting in my head, like at work, just being like kind of bummed out and like this is so horrible. But in a good way. Yeah. And being bummed out and all this in a good way. It sounds weird, but
no, but it's like,
I'm just glad that a film like this was able to affect me.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
You have these other movies we watched. Every other movie we watched yesterday was like big named actors and bigger budgets and all of this, and then here comes this little indie movie with nobodies. Maybe there'll be somebody one day. When I say nobodies, you know what I mean. And they are the ones that really like resonated and stuck with me. So, congrats, kudos. But for anybody who isn't part of the film, watch the fucking thing. Support it. It's cool.
Yes.
But only really if you're into these mockumentary films.
Yes.
If you're into Lake Mungo.
Yeah, if you like Lake Mungo,
you should definitely check this one out.
It.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, not for sure.
Well, for sure.
Everyone's
most
weird.
likely. How about that?
Most likely.
Like at least like 80% possibility.
You went from 100 to 80. That's a big drop.
Is it 20%?
That's a big drop.
Well, I was like for sure.
I'll say 95%.
Fine, 92%.